The date is June 13th, 2026. Only 3 days have passed since the start of the FIFA World Cup, yet the tournament is already facing a level of criticism that no governing organization would want to experience so early in the competition. This time, however, the controversy is not centered around legal investigations, travel restrictions, ticketing issues, or organizational failures. Instead, the focus has shifted to the football itself. A single VAR decision has sparked outrage, divided expert opinion, confused thousands inside the stadium, and triggered debate across the global football community within moments of being made. The match in question was Switzerland against Qatar at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California. During the 17th minute, Swiss midfielder Remo Freuler broke into the penalty area before being challenged by Qatar goalkeeper Mahmoud Abounatta, who brought him down. The referee reacted immediately by pointing to the penalty spot, appearing certain of his decision. Yet almost instantly another question emerged. Before the foul occurred, had a Swiss attacker been standing in an offside position during the build-up? The assistant referee kept his flag down, allowing play to continue before VAR stepped in to review the sequence. The review lasted longer than many expected. Supporters inside the stadium waited in confusion while players remained standing around the penalty area, looking toward the officials for an answer. Television commentators studied every available replay repeatedly, trying to understand what the technology was seeing. The longer the delay continued, the more uncertainty spread throughout the stadium and among millions watching around the world. Eventually, the verdict arrived. The penalty would stand. Breel Embolo, who had experienced uncertainty over his own travel authorization shortly before the tournament began, calmly stepped forward and converted from the spot, giving Switzerland a 1-goal advantage. But rather than ending, Gary Neville watched the incident unfold several times before sharing his opinion. After carefully studying the available replays, he admitted that the situation raised enormous questions in his mind. From his perspective, the attacker appeared to be offside unless convincing evidence could prove otherwise. His biggest concern was simple. Why had the audience still not been shown a conclusive image explaining the decision? Ian Wright reacted differently, laughing during the discussion, although it was clear his laughter reflected disbelief rather than amusement. He suggested that officials behind the scenes were making decisions away from public view and criticized what he saw as a lack of transparency, describing the situation as scandalous. Lee Dixon reached a similar conclusion after examining the same footage, openly wondering whether his own eyesight could possibly be failing because nothing he saw seemed to justify the final verdict. So what exactly happened, and why has this particular VAR incident become so significant? The debate is not limited to whether the referee awarded the correct penalty. Instead, the controversy focuses on the process behind the decision, the evidence that was presented to viewers, and perhaps even more importantly, the evidence that never appeared on television. Semi-automated offside technology works by tracking every player's body position through multiple cameras and advanced limb recognition systems. These measurements create a detailed, three-dimensional model designed to determine the exact position of each player at the moment the ball is played. In theory, this technology should remove uncertainty and replace subjective judgment with objective precision. However, reality becomes far more complicated whenever the difference between onside and offside is measured by only a few centimeters. The final outcome can depend on which exact frame is selected or how the tracking system interprets a player's body position. In extremely close situations, visual explanations become essential if supporters are expected to understand and trust the result. That is exactly why the Switzerland versus Qatar decision generated so much criticism across the football world. The sequence leading to the penalty was so close that even some of the most experienced football analysts in television broadcasting struggled to understand the final decision. After reviewing every replay available to them, several experts independently concluded that they could not clearly identify how the attacking player had remained onside. Despite the lengthy VAR review, FIFA did not display the decisive freeze frame or the full three-dimensional graphic that would have demonstrated exactly why the technology reached its conclusion. Instead, the officials simply confirmed that the penalty would stand, offering no detailed visual explanation to viewers inside the stadium or watching around the world. That missing evidence quickly became the central issue. The criticism was no longer only about whether the decision was correct, but about why supporters were expected to accept such an important ruling without being shown the proof behind it. The introduction of semi-automated offside technology was supposed to increase confidence in refereeing decisions by replacing subjective judgment with measurable facts. It promised greater consistency, greater precision, and greater transparency. While the system may indeed be capable of producing highly accurate results, its credibility depends on allowing the public to understand how those results are reached. When close decisions are announced without displaying the supporting evidence, certainty becomes little more than an official statement rather than something supporters can verify for themselves. Transparency is what gives advanced technology its legitimacy, and when transparency is absent, even the most sophisticated systems become vulnerable to doubt and criticism. This is why the Switzerland versus Qatar incident resonated so strongly across the football community. Fans were not simply questioning the offside call itself. They were questioning the communication process surrounding it, and whether FIFA had fulfilled its responsibility to explain one of the most controversial decisions of the tournament. For many observers, the issue reflected a broader concern about trust between football's governing body and the millions of supporters who expect openness whenever technology is used to determine crucial moments in the world's biggest sporting competition.